Stunned, I looked down at the pendant. In the late afternoon light, the small reminder glowed slightly against my shirt. Just then, Sophia pulled a similar pendant from her sweatshirt and held it up for me to see. My heart felt suddenly larger, as if it were expanding to contain the moment. The two of them had given me so much: their wisdom, their experience, their close attention. They'd come near when everyone and everything else in my life seemed to have fallen away. Ted and Sophia had listened and offered a new perspective. Most of all, they'd helped point a way forward for my life when I had felt so stuck. They'd laughed with me and cared. I looked up at the sky. Such friends. Such sky. Something else inside let go just then, like a prisoner stepping into the light of freedom. I let the tears flow. "Emotions are a measure of how important something is to you, David," said Ted. "I'm happy to welcome your tears of release. I trust you'll take what you've learned these past 2 days and continue growing in that new knowledge. You seem to have found what you were searching for when you came to the beach." "I found more than I can say. Much more." My mind was whirling, imagining all the ways that I could begin applying TED in my life. The sunshine felt warmer. The sounds of the shore were filled with meaning. Sacred moments passed. I stammered, "I can already think of so many people and places where TED can make things better, not only in my own life, but for other people too. I want to practice what I've learned here with my associate at work. I want to share it with these newlyweds I know and my sister's family. In fact, everybody's family. Boy, I wish I'd known about this way of being while I was growing up. I'll bet young people would really appreciate TED's help. There are so many areas this could apply to. The possibilities are endless." Ted laughed. "Hang on, David. Slow down a bit. It's true there's not a single aspect of the human experience to which TED, the empowerment dynamic, does not apply. Take it a step at a time, and one aspect of your life at a time. Eventually you'll find that much of your life has been influenced by TED. But those explorations must wait for another day. The sun will be going down soon, and it's time to call it a day." "David," Sophia said, "I'd love to stay in touch and be of support in whatever ways I can, as a friend, as a coach, and maybe from time to time as a challenger. Your personal growth will be my reward. It's no accident that Ted brought us together. We've been down similar paths, and I know there are things we can learn from each other." "That would be great, Sophia. Thanks," I said. I saw that Ted had closed his eyes. Sophia did the same, so I followed suit. "Let's be silent for a moment," said Ted. "I want to express my gratitude for our meeting, and for this work and way of being that is entrusted to us. Let the sounds outside wash over us." And so I did. I gave thanks for all that had happened, for my new connections and the new sense of hope that was now coursing through me. I drank in the sounds of the waves, breathed in the smell of the ocean, and let the warmth of the day sink in. After a few minutes, someone gave my hand a squeeze, and I opened my eyes. It was Ted. He had taken both my hand and Sophia's. He looked deeply at her and then at me. I felt a little funny then, as if Ted were looking into and beyond me. It reminded me of the way my dad looked at me when I graduated from college. I'd known then that he saw exactly what I was made of, that he loved me for all that I was, and even for all that I wasn't. I smiled back. "Until next time." Ted gave us both a hug. Such a warm soul. I felt like my heart might bubble over. Sophia turned, grabbed my hands and gave me an exuberant squeeze, as if she were a long-lost sister returning home. I closed my eyes and relaxed into the moment. What a blessing to feel this way, I thought to myself. After a long minute I opened my eyes and turned to Ted. and Ted wasn't there. He was sauntering down the shore, his walking stick making little marks in the sand. They looked like little periods punctuating the end of this 2-day conversation. He turned back to us, grinned and waved goodbye. Sophia laughed. He has a way of doing that. One thing I can predict, this won't be the last time you see Ted. She reached out and touched my pendant. I liked having it there, resting over my heart. We stood for a few minutes looking out at the waves together, and then Sophia said, "Well, time to head home." We said our goodbyes. As Sophia was leaving, she called out over her shoulder, "I'll email you after dinner." Walking up the beach towards the car, I took my time. There was the bluff, and the path where Ted and I had made our way down here both yesterday and today. The sun had dipped lower now, and the clouds had taken on a pink glow. Scanning the top of the bluff, I could just make out the bench where I'd first come to sit and think and write my journal. How different I felt now. Thank you, Ted, for introducing me to TED, the empowerment dynamic, I said aloud, smiling. Thank you very much.